Poljedelstvo je enako onesnaževanje. No, lahko je. Ampak danes ne bomo govorili o tem, da bi recimo takšno polje preorali s starimi katečimi traktorji. Namreč Audi s svojim zadnjim okoljskim projektom njihove Audijeve okoljske fundacije opozarja na onesnaževanje s izsuševanjem močvirji.
The peatlands, they have stored over centuries a huge amount of carbon. And once you drain the water from the peatland, they are decomposed. And then when they get dry, they emit the greenhouse gases. This is carbon dioxide, but other greenhouse gases as well. When it started centuries ago, to be able to have a conventional agriculture, you had to first of all remove the water out of this area, because otherwise you could not grow, for example, potatoes. And due to the lowering of the water level, the peatland dries, and the stored carbon emissions and other greenhouse gases, they are emitted. And this is the big challenge that we're having. We have to stop the drainage and the decomposition of the peatland and increase the water level again.
Audi na ta problem opozarja, ker se pravzaprav odvija na njihovem dvorišču. Le nekaj 10 kilometrov stran od Ingolstadta je staro bavarsko močvirje, ki so ga tekom stoletij praktično izsušili za potrebe poljedelstva. No, pri nas, recimo na Ljubljanskem barju, ta problem vendarle ni tako zelo pereč, ker se pravzaprav v naših krajinskih parkih niti ne sme prav veliko početi. In seveda jaz dodajam osebno, da je prav tako. Ampak si pa lahko za zgled vzamemo bavarski način reševanja problemov. You have mentioned that you have to decide whether you want to use the peatland or protect it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Doesn't always protecting the peatlands win in this question?
The first and most important step is always to take the people into account that use this land and they live by the fruits that are grown there, for example. So you have to take them with you on the journey. I mean, it would be easier, obviously, to say, okay, we take the whole area out of any usage for agriculture or anything else. We just increase the water level and stop any usage. But then you have the challenge that you have a very high socio-economical pressure from the landowners, because they are used to grow their agriculture since generations. So the idea was not just to have rewetting of the peatland and do nothing with the area anymore, but to investigate different measures, how you can combine the needs of the landowner with environmental protection and peatland restoration.
So it's not about funding farmers directly. How can you help farmers?
So we do not fund farmers directly. We fund and we support this, for example, this peatland scientific study to showcase possible ways how a farmer can transform himself into a more sustainable, peatland suitable way of agriculture. For example, you can switch to wet agriculture or wet livestock on the field, but it's a different kind of agriculture. Maybe it's in the first step not as profitable, for example, than you do conventional agriculture.
Can you give me an example of that kind of wet agriculture?
So, for example, if you increase the water level again and you have the water level up close to the surface, once again, you could still grow, for example, so-called paludicultures, which create a huge biomass that can be used for building materials, for example. Or the easiest way also would be to combine it with agroforestry, growing trees on this humid soil once again. And some very interesting use cases also in the Donaumoos, they are combining photovoltaic installation on top of the peatland.
But photovoltaic would not look good.
Yeah, first of all, it's about regenerating the soil and stopping the degradation of the peatland. So therefore you stop the emissions of the greenhouse gases. And if you can put on top, for example, a photovoltaic installation, the landowner can earn money from that, and therefore he has an incentive to stop his conventional agriculture.
Seveda smo v Avtomobilnosti že večkrat govorili o teh Audijevih okoljskih projektih in mimogrede vprašajmo, kako daleč so s tistim projektom, ko zbirajo skupaj odpadne delce gum. How far are you with the urban filter project?
The urban filter project is a very interesting project that we talked to you about. There are new results, obviously from the lab, but also new results from our in situ pilot plants. So we see that we have a very high durability, and both the filter in the clay alley in Berlin, the in situ project is running now since more than 6 months. Shows no damage, and it can very good separate the particles, but also does not clog, for example, by mud or by leaf. So we are very positive by this nice results from the in situ pilot plant, but we also have very promising results from the lab when it comes to developing different setups of the filter modules. So our colleagues from the Technical University of Berlin, they are doing a great job. Another very interesting milestone in this project is that we have now a second in situ pilot plant within an ADAC test center. So those are the test centers where cars are driven a lot. And there also we have a new in situ pilot plant that already shows very promising results concerning the separation efficiency of tire abrasion particles from the street water runoff.
Audijeva okoljska fundacija seveda pušča sledi vse posod po svetu, ne samo na Bavarskem, pa v Berlinu, pa v Bangkoku. Našla je pot tudi sem v Slovenijo. In predlagam, da se odpeljemo v Prlekijo, do Blagoškega jezera. Tam so namreč nastale prav posebne okoljske torbice.